I'm indeed a regulator. What we effectively do as the Office of the Controller, Petroleum Controller, we are responsible for implementing the Petroleum Products Act as amended. Effectively, the whole objective of that Petroleum Products Act is to ensure that there's orderly functioning of the sector, where as we license, we ensure that, one, we effect transformation. Two, we ensure that there's efficiency in investment. But the challenge that we have is that it looks like the investment sometimes don't become efficient because people don't take learning seriously. I guess there is lots of teachings that are being done because the unit of community programs, they usually arrange typical workshops like this and teach people how to apply for licenses, which is our role in making sure that you can enter, like what Osmanana has said. So effectively, even this PPA has allowed for the licensing of manufacturers, of wholesalers, and retailers, including that of LP gas. But we are also proud to also announce our achievement just in the last 2 years, including this year. We have gazetted the LP gas rollout strategy. It has been due for public comments since 1 April. And the sole objective of the LP gas strategy is to ensure that there's promotion of national access to this safer and cleaner, more efficient and environmentally friendly and for thermal use by households. I have been using LPG for cooking and also for heating. Just to add on, Mary Ann, LP gas food tastes nicer than any other food. So, and it's also cheaper because a 19 kg cylinder can even last you for close to 4 to 6 months. So it's very efficient, but the quality of food thereof and the efficiency thereof is really commendable. But the other thing that the department seeks to do is to also encourage households to switch from the use of biomass, coal, electricity, and illuminating paraffin to LPG and for thermal purposes. I like what the DDG mentioned earlier on in Xhosa. He said is Ikutweza. I'm from a village called Tidlamlom. There's still many of us Baba Rwalelang. And from my other colleague who is an installer, when we tried our best to encourage others to install gas, we struggled in Northwest to get an installer. I think there are about 1 or 2 repeatable installers there. So for the people in Northwest, there's an opportunity here because we struggled a lot. So it means effectively we are relying only on one person to do that. And people want to really switch because they have realized the benefit of having gas, because in our village, load shedding is a norm. So you are better off just having LPG, because then you at this time and age, we are also saying there are those who have really seen the benefits of using LPGs. But also what our main contribution in terms of this rollout strategy is to ensure that there's efficient and demanding site management contribution, because then we will be minimizing the use of electricity for cooking and space heating while we use LPG. Some, as you read the LPG strategy, the objectives, you'll go through them. But the other important thing that I want us all to also know, to say, because like we all acknowledge that there has been challenges. Our rollout strategy has also acknowledged that there are challenges that comes with rolling out this strategy. And the strategy has been, those challenges have been categorized as structural features of the market, which would be also inclusive of LPG infrastructure. We acknowledge, I think earlier speaker spoke to the fact that we still, whilst our import capacity has improved, but we still have problems with storage, the cylinders challenges, but also the negative perception around LPG. And I'm glad that we are having these sessions, because here people told us their experiences on the use of how they've found LPG to be. And maybe then to my role, because at some stage when Osmanana were acquiring license, then I was in the licensing department. Currently, my role is with respect to compliance monitoring and enforcement and fuel pricing. You will also recognize that in the past 18 months, the department has revised the pricing framework, because it was seen that the use of petrol proxy to regulate the price of LPG was not cost reflective of the actual cost that importers were incurring. Subsequent to that, the department has reviewed its pricing framework to make sure that there's an incentive or there are actual costs that are then recovered by the one who will have imported, but is also even able to make the business sustainable. And because now we acknowledge that our refiners are constrained, and previously it used to be their core. You will have noted that 3 refiners have currently been closed, but we realized that, like the DDG has acknowledged, that this time around, we never had any price shortages. So effectively, what we did was to go back to what the market inquiry of 2014 would have identified as challenges, and then said, what is it that is within our control? How do we become responsive given the target that we have set for ourselves? And we have at least 3 things to tick. That will be the price review, that will be the LP gas strategy rollout, but also the gazetting of the Gas Amendment Act in our definition, because now a gas has been elevated, LPG has also been categorized there. But what I also like about the Gas Amendment Act, it has elevated broad-based Black economic empowerment, which prioritizes women, which prioritizes youth. And like you will have read on the report of the market inquiry, that this industry is still highly concentrated, dominated by only 4 foreign companies. And what we've subsequently done was to say, given that the industry had made commitments that it would also transform, as the department, this year we commissioned an independent study audit of BBBEE to see what the extent of transformation in the sector is, what are the bottlenecks that constrain, other than just competition issues, what are the bottlenecks to transformation. The study has been, it's led by a woman-owned company, by Mulatto Solutions. I'm appealing to the industry participants here to be cooperative when the auditors come knocking to your door. It's only to make sure that whatever that we committed to in terms of doubling the target, as Minister has announced, we also ensure that we are becoming inclusive. Then coming to compliance, what we have seen subsequently done also, because compliance also in terms of that market inquiry was noted as a very key weakness that needed to be done differently. We didn't just say that because the market inquiry had say amend the act. We have established a Petroleum Compliance Forum, of which we in that forum, we've got SARS, we've got SAPS, we've got LP Gas Association, we have all petroleum industry associations that are participating there. All this we're discussing in terms of ensuring that the fronting that we see, the exclusion of women that we see in terms of this, we exchange information, not necessarily dedicated like this on a specific sector, but at least on to say, how do we enhance compliance? I think every speaker has alluded to the fact that with LPGS, compliance is key, and we are appealing to make sure that when you give you a wholesale license, which we are aggressively ensuring that we award, and when you are women, we prioritize you. When you are youth, we prioritize you. We even take sometimes our times aside just to make sure that we assist you in knowing exactly what is expected. So our humble appeal is that make sure that you adhere to all the license conditions behind your license. Then in closing, I would really want you to be encouraged to, what I will do is to ask Hadi to Ms. Ditlhabi to circulate the regional contacts to say, in case you need assistance, and also in heeding to the DDG's call, us as women in this forum, can we all commit today to the fact that we will avail ourselves in whatever way possible to assist in making sure that those who want to apply understand what they are getting themselves into. They also are familiar to say that now that I have attended this webinar, I understand what the ins and outs of LPG are. I'll go further, study, and make sure that I commit doing my own feasibility and engage a consultant only when I see that things are at a very, very advanced. It's actually not even necessary for licensing purpose because we are available in all regions to assist. Auskadi, I appeal to you to avail our contacts that we have circulated even to the forum to say for regional offices where to report non-compliance and how do we ensure that we work together to make sure that the goals of the rollout strategy, LP gas rollout strategy are accomplished. I thank you.